The holidays are here.
Like the Griswolds over here.
And so is the cheer. We've all witnessed the joy and excitement.
Santa has been brought to tears many times.
But for some, it's a time of remembrance.
The holidays are hard during grief
And reflection.
I feel like the Grinch, the little heart, and every time I come down here, it swells a little bit.
For the entire year, we've watched as southern New England stuck together.
Many hands make light work.
As strangers became friends.
It definitely brought the whole town together. Good job.
And hundreds lent a helping hand during the times of need.
Life is precious. We only get one.
The smiles, the laughs, the moments that meant the most. Thank you for inviting us along for the ride as you showed us something good.
Good evening, everyone. Happy holidays to you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sam Reed.
And I'm Mario Hilario.
We are so excited to have you with us from the beautiful Linden Place for an entire hour of something good.
Yeah, over the course of nearly 4 years, we've been bringing you good news weekly to shine a light on people and positivity in communities all across southern New England. In light of all the bad in the world, we wanted to highlight the good to lift your spirits.
And what better time of year to do that than now during this season of giving? And a Bristol man's gift to the community is unlike anything that we've ever seen before. As the countdown to Christmas is on and people everywhere get into the spirit, Michael Riley of Bristol is hoping to lift them.
Welcome to the Bristol Santa House.
With this top-of-the-line love project that mimics the magic of Santa's setup.
It magically appears from the North Pole, and then after the season, it magically disappears.
Riley is the president of the nonprofit James D. Riley Foundation, which he founded in memory of his grandfather, James Riley, who spent 62 years as Santa's helper.
He spent a lot of time with kids with special needs.
And that, plus the kindness of the community, is how the Bristol Santa House came to be.
Our mission is to provide an immersive Christmas experience for kids with special needs.
When day turns to night, there's an extra twinkle in the town. Because unlike a mall photo op or a quick hello and goodbye, this is open and free to the public, but they also partner with programs so special kids can have a special experience and a reserved time to see Santa.
We have had instances where children who are nonverbal will actually talk to Santa.
People from all over come to spend some time with Saint Nick. And here at the house, Michelle McIntosh says he's an actual saint.
What's that? You want to ring this one?
We usually don't really have a good visit with Santa.
In every way of the word.
We planned our whole day because of these 15 minutes that we're going to be able to spend. But it means a lot, you know, and it's like a little piece of normalcy, I guess, is what you would say.
She's here with her daughter, 8-year-old Brianna. And in comes 95-year-old Gaetano Emalato, who says you're never too old for some Christmas magic.
I didn't see Santa much, not very much when I was young.
He's here with his friend Josh Harris.
I thought it was nice.
And the pair don't get to do things like this often.
It's nice for me and Josh, but it's nice for him to have. We never could come to these places.
20-year-old Matthew Collardo could hardly contain his excitement.
It's so good to see you again. Oh my goodness.
Having this one-on-one opportunity is the best present ever.
Santa here.
Riley says he knows firsthand how happy this also makes Santa, who donates countless hours ahead of Christmas to bring joy to others.
Santa has been brought to tears many times, I can tell you personally.
And all year, like everyone else, he looks forward to Santa Claus coming to town.
It's my gift to our community. I'm glad you came to see me.
I'm Sam.
Lots of other things happened ahead of the holly jolly holidays to put us in the spirit. Like in Mansfield, where a mom created Santa DNA kits to help parents prove the big man is real by testing his DNA from broken cookies.
If it doesn't have Santa's DNA, then you will not get a reaction at all. Getting children to smile and be happy about anything is important to me.
A Somerset mom with a lot of love for Christmas spent a year collecting unwanted milk jugs from the community so she could create this 11.5-foot snowman Jughead.
It definitely brought the whole town together. Everybody is so excited about it.
A Coventry family was surprised with the gift of lights after living through loss. Seascape generously donated the installation to make the holidays brighter for Megan Donnelly and her daughter Catherine, whose dad died years ago at the age of 37 from an unexpected heart attack.
The holidays are hard. During grief, every day is hard. It's okay to be happy.
A North Smithfield woman has made hundreds of ornaments for first responders on her own dime and time.
I think they're underappreciated at times, and so just to give them my thanks.
A Warwick mom is on a mission to memorialize her son and husband for their love of Christmas with her second annual Big Guys Toy Drive. It was a huge hit.
I just hope it brings a smile to these kids like it did for my son.
And people all over Swansea with beautiful light displays were so surprised to find Santa's secret elves left them a Christmas card with a chance of testing their luck.
Thank you to the person who started it, and I hope Santa's good to them.
And while Santa spends lots of time at the North Pole, occasionally he brings his tunes to tree farms. As Christmas comes quickly and people all over finalize things like wreaths and Christmas trees.
We open the day after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday.
Business is booming at the WJAR Tree Farm in Mystic.
We offer a variety of different trees. We do the cutting. We help them with the process of picking out their tree, giving them the details of the tree, baling the tree, and then helping them load it on if they would like.
It's a small family-owned and operated business that runs on a lot of love.
This is year 49. Next year is going to be a big one for us.
And offers all you can imagine when it comes to everything holiday.
You work really hard for 11 months out of the year to just be open for 1 month. So having people come and share their stories and their traditions is really special. One of those traditions includes a big guy with a big beard who's helping to make the holidays happy with a saxophone in hand.
In Southeastern Connecticut, they know me as Saxophone Santa. And this is my 39th year playing throughout Connecticut and Rhode Island.
Chris Kringle learned some jingles.
The most requested song is Jingle Bells.
And the self-taught Santa has been spending lots of time at the WJAR Tree Farm. And the kids can't get enough.
Immediate smiles, especially with children. Seeing the magic of Christmas and the magic of Santa.
On different days of the week, while employees work with trees, Saxophone Santa works the crowd.
It's always fun, and especially see the children's faces and people walking by. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas!
When people got wind of the jolly man and his instrument, customers from all over have come for the full magical experience.
Most of the people here say, oh, there's Saxophone Santa.
Of course, owners here don't have to have entertainment, but having the man that Christmas music is written about actually play music has been meaningful.
He just puts a smile on everybody's face. You know, people with young kids seeing Santa, and especially Santa with a saxophone.
And though soon it'll be time to head home to the North Pole, for the next few weeks you may have a one-of-a-kind experience, thanks to a one-of-a-kind Santa.
My purpose is to brighten up the holiday season, despite a lot of things going on in the world.
Showing you something good.
Merry Christmas!
I'm Sam Reed.
While lots of beautiful things happen during the holiday season, year-round, people have been dedicated to those they love and admire. A Westerly preschool teacher wore 100 dresses, a different one each day, to honor a former longtime founder of the school. When the community learned Make-A-Wish denied a Mansfield teen battling cancer's request because of his age, they rallied to make it come true.
I don't even know what to say. I am eternally grateful.
In Coventry, grandparents published a book, Stars in a Jar, to honor their grandson, 5-year-old Banner Mazza, who died from an extremely rare disease found in children. The book highlights memories made with their favorite little boy.
On his passing, we thought, how do we remember Banner best?
A Westport woman whose family has more than 90 years of sacrifice and service to our country created her own memorial boot garden consisting of boots from 3 generations.
3 generations, 90 years of service.
And over in Plainfield, Connecticut, there's a buzz about a local bee business. Their cool creations like candles and other items are a huge hit. David and Patricia Kettle began Melody Hope Honey in memory of their daughter, who passed away at the age of 27.
One of the things that our daughter used to do is smile all the time. And meeting all these people really makes us smile. So it's kind of her giving back to us. we feel.
Still ahead, our four-legged friends have made an all-around impact when it comes to their love and devotion.
All the times our animal friends made a difference when we come back. The Cumberland woman with a love of cats is helping others heal.
Her one-of-a-kind creations and what she does with them is beautiful.
Like people with pets all over the country, Katie Texera is a huge fan of felines.
Their personalities, their demeanor, their unconditional love.
She's a cat mom to 4 fur babies that roam her home in Cumberland. And while she loves them unconditionally, losing her 11-year-old cat Milo in 2021 was a hard hit to her heart.
I wanted a piece of jewelry to wear with her ashes or her fur, which I have both.
For years, when her whiskers would naturally fall out, Katie would keep them.
Surprisingly, a lot of people do keep their whiskers.
And after months of mourning Milo, she decided to take things into her own hands, creating a ring of remembrance using Milo's whiskers.
I like to make things with my hands, very artistic.
Things didn't stop at her own personal piece. For a few months now, she's been creating pet keepsake pieces, calling her business Fallen Whiskers.
I can use ashes, fur, whiskers, anything really any pet owner would want to remember their pet by.
She started promoting her business online, and in no time, customers began sending in sentiments for Katie to work with.
Some people send me pictures. I've gotten a lot of handwritten letters talking about the animals.
Katie says she loves learning about the bonds built. After all, pets are like family, but for cats with nowhere to call home, she lends a helping hand in that department, too.
That's the heartbeat of this place, is the amazing people that come in, day out.
For about a year now, twice a week, she volunteers at the Paws Watch Community Cat Center.
I clean out their cages, make sure they have food and water, scoop a lot of litter boxes, and then just spend time with the cats.
She says the center, that operates on a lot of love, could sometimes use a boost when it comes to donations and other items.
At that point, I was like, well, maybe I could use this to help raise money for the rescue.
That's how everything ties into one another. Every month, instead of keeping her hard-earned money for herself, for every piece of jewelry she sells, she purchases products for cats.
What Katie does is an inspiration. It touches people's heart.
Katie is hoping her efforts will leave a lasting impression.
It's very heartwarming and rewarding to be able to do this for people.
And if they're in the market, there's a few cool cats eager to find a forever home. But in the meantime, they're in great care, thanks to a woman who does.
She's selfless, compassionate. It speaks volumes. It also tells me this means so much to her, that she wants to give back to this.
Furry friends make us smile all the time.
Hi, buddy.
Like Gilbert, the party pig who travels all around making people smile. Or Tori Randall of Exeter with her traveling petting zoo. She caters to people of all abilities with her patience and knowledge.
That's one of the best feelings ever, is just seeing that joy.
When no one would adopt Honey, the Cranston Police Department, alongside dog trainer Sue Parker, trained her to become a certified therapy dog who visits nursing homes. And the Don't Forget Us, Pet Us Animal Sanctuary in Dartmouth is the last stop for unwanted animals who have so much love to give.
We're all perfectly imperfect.
In Matunuck, a Charlestown woman created a memorial to honor her dog, extending an opportunity for other people with pets that have passed to remember them.
It made me feel better. It meant even more that other people felt the same way I did.
Now to the story of a man who saved 6 baby possums without thinking twice.
He's a hero in more ways than one.
Not a day goes by in Douglas, Massachusetts that retired firefighter John Gregson isn't on alert.
Spent my career in service to others, what I like to do.
The 61-year-old retired from North Providence a few years ago, but since the age of 5, his love for animals has always been adamant.
I had 2 nicknames on the job. I was called St. Francis and Dr. Doolittle. I pulled more animals from fires than I did people.
About a week and a half ago, while driving to the dentist, John saw what he assumed was regular roadkill.
You see it, you really pay no attention. In this particular case, I had no choice.
Lying in the middle of the road was a mess. A mama possum had been hit. It was clear she wasn't playing dead. She actually was. But the possum's pouch area was moving.
Got out of the car, I didn't think twice. Just started moving tissue around and innards and just reaching in for to get them out.
Though it's recommended to use gloves for something like this. Using his bare hands, he opened her up, saving 6 babies inside.
I saw life in peril, and I just didn't think twice about it.
He brought them back to his house, cleaned them up, and kept them warm. And then he put out a post on social media asking where to navigate next.
It's amazing how many rehabbers were talking with each other, trying to figure out who was going to take these little guys.
For 7 years in Sudbury, Ashley Makrodakis has been a state wildlife rehabilitator.
Primarily a small mammal rehabilitator.
She says when it comes to her work, possums are no exception. But unfortunately, one of the expectations.
It happens all the time. People do not slow down for these animals.
Fortunately, though, for these little ones, John did the right thing and brought the babies here for help.
They were sadly very healthy. Mom was very freshly hit. 1 out of the 6 babies got her tail partially lacerated.
Plans for the possums consist of a few more months of care, thanks to a man who did.
The world needs more people like John.
John says while this type of life-saving was a first for him, it surely won't be his last.
Life is precious. We only get one.
We've seen people all across southern New England prevail with the openings of their small businesses.
And their labors of love aren't going unnoticed.
We can go wherever you want to go.
Like on the schoolie bus that has been completely transformed into a one-stop shop and unique ride service. Matthew and Ellen Collard created their business from an old school bus.
You want to have fun in life. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
A mother-daughter duo in Ashaway say their idea started brewing a few years ago to transform a Volkswagen into their popular coffee shop on wheels, hoping it would revive the community.
That truly was the whole point.
Best Friends in Fall River opened up an exclusive snack shop with flavors and food from all over the world.
It'll be about 5 minutes.
Johnson and Wales students were gifted a hot dog cart by their professor to start their business Bun Buds. They offer gourmet hot dogs and dumplings. The Watch Hill Merry-Go-Round is the nation's oldest flying horse carousel that's still in service. People come year-round to get a brass ring. The Lavender Waves Farm will take your breath away. More than 4,000 plants are on the property, alongside 3 camels. It's one of the only places in Rhode Island to welcome the mammals.
Coming up next, a Warwick man who has a way with wood is taking his talents to his driveway.
And athletes all over are putting their strengths to the test, as are some others.
Thanks for sticking with us. On weekends, weather permitting, a Warwick man's woodworking skills are a huge hit.
And people passing by can't help but smile.
Walking down his stairs at the age of 86.
Put the light on. I want to show you something.
Emil Plant of Warwick has a one-of-a-kind man cave.
Boy, I like it. I go down cellar in my own will.
Here in his home, he spends hundreds of hours working with wood.
If you can't reach him, the phone's ringing, he's in the basement.
In fact, over the years, his hobby has produced so many pieces.
See that? Self-taught, all the way.
That he's created a museum upstairs, showcasing his labor of love.
I got all kinds of stuff. I always wanted to be a carpenter, and I never was. I like woodworking, and that's how I started it.
But with so many creations over so many years, he couldn't let time roll by without offering others an opportunity.
Right out there. Yard sale.
To purchase these pieces.
For sale.
His one-of-a-kind creations by Emil.
Well, I give it to him at a good price.
Like clockwork, weather-dependent, and only on weekends. For about 3 hours, people passing by on Norwood Avenue are welcome to stop and make a purchase on the pavement.
Everybody's after them, I don't know.
His daughter, who lives next door, says watching him work has been wonderful in more ways than one.
He absolutely loves it. People stop by and he talks with them, he chats with them. It makes him feel so good, and they get so excited, which makes him excited.
There's birdhouses and automobiles, all different styles and sizes.
I do this instead of television. I don't watch television.
So what has the response been from people? Do they like your products, or?
Oh, do they ever? I sold out last week.
That support means more than one could imagine.
Keeps him going, gives him a purpose,
Even his neighbors pitched in with donations, like secondhand lumber.
Well, I buy some, and the neighbors give me their scrap wood from bureaus and stuff, and I take it from there.
Once it starts to get real cold, Emil says he'll call it quits, but in the meantime, he'll be out here.
Feels good. I feel I made people happy.
Rocking away in his chair while whistling a tune. Waiting to sell you something so sincere.
While Emil is still very active at his age, we've seen a lot of people use their athleticism to better themselves and others. At the Mercy Mount Country Day School, a mom and daughter duo have created an after-school jump rope club. They raised more than $2,000 for the American Heart Association.
They've caught on really quickly, and it's been a lot of fun.
Will Muro of Westerly skateboarded the entire length of Rhode Island to raise money to help people struggling with mental health issues.
Now everyone's like, oh, you're the girl with the shoes. And I'm like, ah, that's me.
Gigi Mason started Black Girls Bowl too. She's spreading positivity and support for anyone interested in the sport. In Seekonk, there's Kicks for a Cause. Rocky Silva's American Karate School raised more than $50,000 with their one-day fundraiser. Students broke boards while raising money for the Tomorrow Fund.
We're very lucky to have so many wonderful families that have the heart that we have to help others.
If you've enjoyed the last half hour, we've got even more for you. Another 30 minutes of good news only is headed your way.
We'll introduce you to even more amazing people with beautiful stories to tell. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the second half hour of our Something Good special. We're so glad to have you with us.
We're bringing you another 30 minutes of stories that will pull at your heartstrings and introducing you to more amazing Southern New Englanders who are doing good. Gloucester's Bill Brown has volunteered countless hours cleaning all of the town's veteran cemeteries. He's uncovered hundreds of graves, making sure no veteran is forgotten.
It was the disrespect that I saw. I just said, this can't be.
Longtime Bristol postal worker Tom Vaccaro is kind to all customers, going above and beyond, handing out candy to show he cares.
I like doing it to make people's day, make it a little special.
In Coventry, a group of strangers helped a veteran low on luck by filling her apartment with furniture she desperately needed.
I'm so thankful for everybody helping me.
Volunteers stepped up to the plate in South Kingstown to completely renovate a longtime umpire's home in disrepair.
What can be done with people working together?
A Warwick woman who beat cancer surprises others fighting it with a cash donation to do whatever they please. And known as the Coventry Coat Angel every year, Cynthia Jacobs donates hundreds of new coats to kids in need thanks to the kindness of the community. A woman paid for the groceries of a stranger who left his wallet at home. He's battling Alzheimer's and forgot it.
It doesn't cost anything to be nice to people.
Excuse me, would you like to donate $1 to Alzheimer's, okay?
And Tommy Dwyer walks the streets of Providence daily, collecting a $1 donation, which he then donates to the Alzheimer's Association.
And a Warwick man goes above and beyond to help a little girl who's going through a tough time.
For almost 12 years, Isabella Major has been an only child up until about a week ago, when this golden retriever joined the family.
I've always wanted a dog just for comfort and just to make me feel good and happy.
Feeling good is really important right now. In June of 2022, Izzy was diagnosed with leukemia, and since then, the lifelong dancer and her family have had to make some major adjustments. After learning about the leukemia, Stephen Barbado reached out to his former coworker, Izzy's mom, Marilyn Martins.
I wanted to know if there's anything I could do to help, even maybe just put a smile on her face.
Though it was tough to get it out of her, he eventually learned Izzy really wanted a puppy, so he put plans in motion.
When I asked her what she would name the dog, is what really broke my heart a little bit, is she said Baxter, and I said, why Baxter? And she said, because that's the name of the machine that gives me my chemo.
Steve put out a call on social media asking others for help, and in just a few days, the dog was donated by Suncoast Transmission and Performance in Florida, and his friends flew down to pick up the pup and fly him home to Rhode Island. Izzy was introduced to her brand new best friend, Baxter.
I did start to cry. It just makes me feel happy, and it takes my mind off of things that, like, if I do have bad days, now I know that he'll be here with me.
Marilyn can't stress how much this means to their family. And just like the origination of his name, Baxter is already working wonders.
And I'm truly a firm believer that not all heroes wear capes. And Steve is one of them.
While adults have gone out of their way to show us something good, so many children have proven that the grown-ups haven't cornered the market on positivity. After learning some kids in Cranston didn't get things like cake or presents for their birthday, students at the St. Paul School created and donated birthday bags.
I hope they feel joy.
And speaking of birthdays, instead of presents, a Westerly toddler asked for donations to the Ronald McDonald House where her parents stayed while she was in the NICU.
And I hope it sets a good example and she keeps it going.
A North Kingstown High School senior created a free beach toy library so no kid would go without.
Yes.
Students at Pilgrim High School helped a classmate with a surprise promposal. Riley's bouquets are not only beautiful, but the 12-year-old picks and creates them each year to raise money for those fighting cancer. And a 12-year-old Portsmouth boy who was bullied for having long hair spent years growing it out for kids with cancer. He made a selfless donation.
It made me feel really happy that I was doing something good.
9-year-old Theo Durson puts his sales talents to the test. He raised more than $2,000 for Hesbro Children's Hospital.
And it felt good.
While Theo was only 9 years old, we've seen people of all ages accomplishing their goals or doing something good.
71-year-old Gail Davis is now Dr. Davis.
You're never too old, and it's never too late.
73-year-old Paul Topham of Attleboro is tough and built like a brick. He won the national powerlifting competition in his bracket.
Keeps me young.
In Richmond, this 92-year-old is still fixing up beat-up bikes and helping the community when he can.
It makes me feel good.
Age is only a number for 100-year-old Florence Katz and her best friend, 6-year-old Marcel Genesee, who visits her every week.
He's one of my best friends.
And for her 97th birthday, Marie Erickson of Swansea saved up her money for years so she could buy herself a birthday gift, a John Deere lawnmower that she's put to good use.
I still got all my marbles, and it's the money I saved. I'm going to buy this tractor, and I did.
A retired firefighter in Chepachet who also loves things with wheels turned his passion into positivity.
Buckle up for the one-of-a-kind ride.
Right off the road at 474 Putnam Pike in Chepachet, Harmony Products sells things like home-raised honey and other specialty items. But right out front, there's a big blue train.
It's a love project, I guess you'd call it.
And while it may look like it's only for show, it's actually...
Let's take a train ride.
In service.
I always like to say that the train runs on diesel fuel, but the engineer runs on smiles.
Owner Russ Gross says what started out as a retirement goal quickly turned into a positive pandemic project.
It was a way to pay the taxes, pay the bills, share the land, spread a little joy.
The former firefighter has always been fascinated by the railroad.
I used to have model trains like a lot of little boys do.
And since he had the land and a love for the locomotive, he hopped on board with the idea of bringing one to life.
It lets me be a little kid.
In November of 2020, he went to work and laid down about a half a mile of train tracks. Then he ordered the train that was built in Texas.
We have 18 seats.
Since opening, the outdoor experience has been gaining traction.
It was amazing, but it was totally worth it the first time we went around with passengers.
It's $5 for adults, and kids under 3 are free.
The whole thing's a family vibe.
Russ also offers military discounts.
I like to think we do old-fashioned entertainment at an old-fashioned price.
To date, roughly 12,000 people have hopped aboard.
There's so much wrong with the world. We try and have a little spot of relaxation. You come and unplug for a few minutes.
Russ says when all is said and done, looking back on his labor of love was well worth the ride.
If any of my former co-workers or firefighter friends are listening, I hope they don't listen, because I thought that was the best job in the world, but now I have the best job in the world. It's that old saying, find something to do that you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Other business owners and employees are doing their part to keep kindness in the community. When winter rolled around in January, local HVAC company Superior Comfort gifted a heating system to a family in need.
If, I was ever in need, I would hope somebody was there to help me.
And with the cost of everything going up, Stonington police grew their beards to pay people's electric bills.
And this just gives us a really great chance to give back.
A Fall River salon owner offered free hair and makeup for kids going to prom.
About 7:30. Morning.
Jamestown crossing guard James Shaw is the reason students and staff smile every day at the Melrose School.
I think a wave and a smile can go a long ways.
And a Dartmouth woman whose pet pug passed away makes handmade scarves and sells them. She uses the money to pay other people's vet bills.
It warms your heart knowing that it's going to make a difference.
The saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, proves true for twin brothers from West Warwick.
They're using their resources to give back to the community.
Right off the road at 86 Church Street in West Warwick.
We just got tired of making excuses. We just got tired of it.
Twin brothers Ryan and Sean Fitzgerald say their prayers were answered 3 years ago after being homeless and helpless.
We used to drink a lot. We were alcoholics. And I decided that I got sick of living my life the way I did. We always have helped people, but how can you help people when you can't help yourself, right?
Ryan regrets his face tattoos, and they both say they've made some poor decisions in the past, which have been a driving force behind their booming business.
There's a lot of people that talk about doing things, and there's people that do things, and we are doers.
To help others get things done too, 3 months ago, they started Hocus Pocus junk removal because they take everything unwanted and make it disappear. Recently, they've been making their own magic of sorts. Instead of dumping all the unwanted junk from a hired job, they take the time to go through it and save what's worthwhile.
I'd really try to have the highest quality of stuff to give back because I don't want anybody taking junk from me. That's what the landfill is for.
After coming to a consensus of what was once trash turned possible treasure, they leave it out free for the taking. They aren't policing what people are doing.
It's like a damn McDonald's over here. It's all hours of the night.
It's literally all hours of the night.
But they hope it's going into the hands of those who could use a little help.
Anybody in Rhode Island that thinks they need something, they're welcome to grab from us.
There's been kids' clothes and furniture, appliances and other items. Of course, they could attempt at selling it themselves, but they want it to benefit others.
Everybody's having a tough time right now, and, everybody's struggling.
The Fitzgeralds say they know how it feels to struggle. Besides tackling and treating their own addiction, to add fuel to the fire right around that same time, their mom passed away. Though she wasn't able to see their transformation, they're hoping to make her proud. And on the curb they were once kicked to is a reminder of brighter days.
I know I'm doing something good, so when I lay my head down at night, I get to go to bed knowing I did something positive.
Coming up, talents of all kinds surprised us this year.
And the celebrations continue not only for the Christmas holiday, but for holidays all year. More on that when we come back.
Welcome back. Creativity comes at no cost, and so many people use their trades and talents for something good. An 86-year-old Portsmouth man and lifelong fisherman opened a fish print museum, inviting the community to check out his art for free.
For me, life begins at 86.
Kaylee Chambers' artwork was selected to be on reusable shopping bags in home goods stores all over the country. The Woonsocket teen is battling cancer. Sales from the bags went to the Jimmy Fund.
It was exciting. I was also kind of nervous. I don't know why.
And a Bedford man loves Ghostbusters so much he transformed his car into Ecto. A Swansea boys farm stand was a sellout success every weekend.
Are you proud of your garden?
So proud.
Staff and students surprise a Westerly teacher with a Harry Potter bench in memory of her brother who passed.
It was just very special.
A Fall River mom is on a mission to make all children feel welcome. She was inspired by her son to open a sensory-sensitive play place.
It's amazing to see how many people are coming from all over the place.
What can I get for you?
And owners of the Dell's Lemonade in Warren put on a solo art show for a local nonverbal artist who loves lemonade to showcase her work.
The minute I heard that she was doing Dell's pieces, I said, let's have a gallery night.
Christmas isn't the only holiday we saw celebrations for this year.
That was the case for the holidays around here, like when the owner of Toast surprised her staff around the New Year with an all-expense-paid trip to Disney.
It just means so much to us, knowing that she would do something that huge for all of us.
One of America's biggest 4th of July bashes in Bristol goes smoothly thanks to 2 of their longest-serving volunteers.
We do it because we love it.
Pumpkins with a Purpose in South Kingstown is volunteer-run. Money from sales goes to feed the homeless.
People are so generous.
A Cranston man carves craft pumpkins year-round, making his house the house of 1,000 pumpkins.
It's what I live for.
And honoring businesses that are gone but not forgotten, a Smithfield man has a creative cemetery.
I hope it brings a smile to their face.
Things got strange in North Providence. Stephen Simoneau and his daughter created a homemade life-size display of the popular Netflix series Stranger Things.
Put a lot of work into it.
Now to a story out of Westerly worth celebrating. One woman's engagement ring and how she got it is 1 in a million.
Literally.
right off of Main Street in downtown Westerly, where the Pawtucket River flows freely. The Bridge Restaurant and Raw Bar has a booming business, especially in the summer months.
We do a buck-shuck special 7 days a week, so it draws a lot of crowd.
But year-round, locals Sandra Sikorsky and Ken Steinkamp come here for the caw hogs. While the mollusks are always a must-have for the pair, in December of 2021, Ken was a gentleman when he offered up the last one of their order.
No, you have it. You really like these.
But when Sandy went to slurp it down, something wasn't right.
So I take it and spit it down on the down in my hand, and I put it on the table. My sister-in-law goes, "Is that a tooth?"
It wasn't a tooth, but instead a beautiful pearl that came out of the clam.
What are the odds of a pearl being inside the shell?
While many people don't realize it, just like an oyster, clams can produce a mineral of something similar. So Sandy kept the stone and took it to a local jeweler.
And he said, well, the weight of this and the size of it's probably 50 years.
Who told her it's a Mercenaria pearl, and the odds of finding one that size is extremely rare.
He goes, it's probably 1 in a million.
With the perfect pearl and the perfect girl. On July 8th, Ken got down on one knee.
He said this would be a great engagement ring.
After input from Sandy on the setting, 9.8 millimeters of meaningfulness is now positioned proudly on her finger. And to celebrate, the newly engaged couple came back to the bridge to let them know the good news.
It's a fairy tale. It's magical.
And while it wasn't on the menu,
would you ever think that you were gonna get something like this?
Never, not in a million years.
They're as happy as a clam.
Not
the Bridge Jewelry Store, an engagement center.
We've experienced lots of other cool things.
And we've met tons of unique people.
Every month, the Ocean State merfolk meet at a local YMCA for some fun and swimming. A Pawtucket couple has visited more than 2,000 breweries. Their basement is full of mementos. North Kingstown sisters start every morning off with a smile, bringing their chicken Brownie to the bus stop.
I think Brownie really enjoyed it, how she got to see a new thing.
Right off of Route 4, a mystery is solved. A local man and his family plant this huge daffodil heart in memory of their loved one who passed away.
Terry's huge heart, and that's what he had, was a huge heart.
Wait, what? Taking love to new heights. 2 eye doctors in training were engaged on the helipad of Rhode Island Hospital.
And there was nothing like love from a grandmother.
And a Johnston woman leaves a lasting impression on her grandson.
71-year-old Carolyn Paradise puts a pencil to paper.
You can get just lost in it.
As she draws giant giraffes.
Every giraffe is different, the different blocks that he has on his or her body.
For what she hopes one day.
Caramel, my grandson named it.
Could be book number 2.
It's really hard to get a book published these days.
Having moved from Maine to Rhode Island to help take care of her now 8-year-old grandson, Benny, illustration and imagination has always been a big deal.
I was a librarian for almost 30 years.
And in 2015, after countless trips together to local libraries, Carolyn was inspired by her favorite boy.
We're crazy about each other.
And his favorite animal.
My grandson loved giraffes, and I saw a picture of giraffes and I thought it was beautiful.
From there, she started crafting a children's book, Giraffes Count.
I would be up all night some nights just working on this and not even realize how late it was.
She worked tirelessly putting the pieces together in hopes her book would someday sit on the shelves she once serviced.
I've always wanted to.
Published in 2019, it was a dream come true for her and her grandson.
He was excited.
They were able to make one trip to a library to promote the book, but then COVID came about. And unfortunately, so did cancer.
It's a breast cancer, but it metastasized, and they've tried everything. So there's nothing left for me to do. I'm in hospice officially, home hospice.
Carolyn says the creations help keep her going. She's in her own element when she's able to work.
My family's wonderful, but just the idea that you're lying around waiting to die, it's just, and you don't have the energy to do what you used to do, that's really hard.
But out of everything, of all the achievements, what really means the most is upstairs.
I was pleased with how it turned out.
Not only does Benny keep her book close.
I've been pleased even more to see my grandson. He's making his own books.
But perhaps one day he'll follow in her footsteps.
And I think he'll keep going.
And continue to do what he loves.
To my dear grandson, Benny.
Thanks to who he loves.
Who inspired me with his love of giraffes.
still ahead. One last happy holiday story that'll make you smile, and it was a big surprise.
It made a difference thanks to all of you. We'll be right back.
Now to our final story. A few weeks ago, we found out Sam was not only showing us something good, but doing something good. So we wanted to surprise her.
And that they did, but in all reality, everything worked out so well because the community came together to help those in need.
On the corner of Mabry Street and Westerly sits a winter wonderland.
We're big on Christmas. Big Christmas people.
A doorstep decked with candy canes, a smiling Santa beside Frosty and friends, and an 8-foot-tall present wrapped in red and topped with a bow. But this gift isn't one you'll find in a store.
I want to challenge myself on working and doing something and building something that's for a good cause.
Handled with care, this package is homemade.
Maybe 5 boards of like plywood, cut them in dimensions. All these boards are just bolted together.
But the true magic lies inside.
It just opens up like that, and you can always put gifts inside.
It's called the Giving Box, and it's being used to collect toys this holiday season, which Westerly Police will then distribute to families in need. The brains behind the build.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
What are you guys doing here?
Is a familiar face.
Are you ready for an interview?
Are you kidding me? Stop.
That's right. Our very own Sam Reed isn't just showing us something good, she's doing something good.
Wait, what? About the box?
After a little persuasion,
No.
I managed to get her out of her element and into my story.
This is like actually crazy. I've never been interviewed in my 10 years. I don't think I've ever been the one being interviewed. I'm always the one interviewing people. So this definitely caught me off guard.
She says those interviews have inspired her to give back.
Being the Something Good news reporter has been so eye-opening because I don't want to get emotional. I get to see like the people who go out of their way every day to do something good. And I said to Anthony, if you're preaching it, you got to be a part of it. So I'm preaching something good. I have to do something good.
It's a lesson Sam and her husband are working to instill in their baby girl, Briella.
Can you give her a beso? Give her a beso. Being a new mom, I can't imagine that feeling of what am I going to do for Christmas.
We want to see her have a good future and everything, and just want her to like shadow us. It'll be a good feeling once I know that she's like, all right, cool, let's all do this as a family.
Their family project has turned into an entire community effort with people stopping on Sam Street daily to spread the holiday spirit.
I truly believe that kindness can change the world. So just one little project, one little lawn project, can make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
Well, after that story aired, the box remained open for about another week, and boy, did the community give to the Giving Box.
After 2 weeks' time of the community generously dropping off donations, including strangers, friends, family, and even the Westerly Middle School boys basketball team, we were overwhelmed by the love and support of our community. Our entire kitchen was taken over with toys. It was quite the sight to see. After sorting it all, the Westerly Police Department volunteered to pick it all up, and 2 trips later, it proved to be a huge success.
The box was very cool. That was something.
Inside of their department, another eye-opening experience. As thousands of toys were being sorted and boxed for more than 130 families. They held 2 toy drives at Walmart and Ocean State Job Lot. The no judgment drives were bigger than ever before, thanks to a community that truly cares.
It's a nice feeling. We're here, we're a police department, we're supposed to enforce laws, but a lot of people don't know that we do this stuff.
That's going to do it for our holiday special. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of it all.
It has been an honor and a privilege to have met so many amazing people who are showing us something good, and we hope you'll continue it into the new year.
Yeah, thank you for inspiring us with your care and compassion.
Happy holidays to you and your loved ones.